Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Joshua. Joshua is from Manchester in the UK. So let's see what Joshua has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Oh, we finally got there. Sorry to keep you waiting, William.
Okay, my God, I love your outfit. Beautiful. Wow. So how's your day been so far, Joshua?
It's been good. It's been really, really warm. So like my house is baking me alive, but we're making do.
Oh my God, it's been very warm today. I think this year, the British people, I mean, the whole of us, we cannot complain about summer because it's been a very warm summer this year.
So I think that we always complain about the summer because we always want nice weather, but I think this time it's just been too much. I think like it's never a good balance between good weather and bad weather. It's either like too warm or like, you know, snowing, hailing, raining, all of that.
Joshua, tell me where you're from.
I'm originally from Oldham, so I was born and raised in Oldham. I now currently live in Salford.
Right. So tell me, how far are you from London?
London is quite far away, so I'm in Manchester. So that's where Oldham and Salford are. So Oldham and Salford are both Greater Manchester. So that's where I've always been all my entire life. So yeah, so it's a few hours away from London.
I see. And what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
Manchester, the greatest thing about it, I think, is the diversity. The different people that you meet every day. The fact that it's not just you know, one set of person that can be successful and that can do things and create things. There's a great deal of diversity, and also there's always room for someone else to come in and do something. And so I love the fact that I get to live here and that I get to be myself and live the life that I've always wanted to.
Amazing. I think it's going to be the Gay Pride in the next few weeks, isn't it, in Manchester?
That's right, yeah.
Right. So before we start our journey, really in the Magic Box, of course, I was checking your profile and I could see how much you enjoy dressing up, the dresses. So tell me how it starts your passion about dressing up.
It's always been there. It's been something that I've always had since I was young. The thing is, though, I grew up in the 90s, so there was always that real dissonance of what gender was and about what you could do and what you couldn't do. So it was always that mentality of, oh, you can't wear that, that's for girls, or like, you know, you should do this because that's for boys. And I never really understood it. I always questioned it and wondered why that was the case. And then as I got older, I started thinking, well, if I want to do that, I will do that. And that's how the whole interest in fashion and style and appearance and how you present started to really become real to me.
Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. I think you express yourself in a very unique and a beautiful way. That's what I believe.
Thank you.
Joshua, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of view?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Joshua, before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay? All very friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, first question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Top 3 things on my bucket list. That's a really interesting question. It's because a lot of the things that I've done in my life have been things, because I've never really been a bucket list sort of person, because I like to live life spontaneously, and I like to just live each day as it comes. I know it's a cliche to say so, but it's one of those situations where you don't know if, you know, this day is your last, like tomorrow isn't promised. So for me, it's more about going for things that I think are realistic. But in terms of nailing something down, in terms of things that I've thought about, firstly, I'd like to have my own book published. But like, I don't know what book that might be, because I change a lot in terms of what I write and what I do. Secondly, would be for the Style Secretary, my current Instagram blog, to hit 1,000 followers. I think that would be a really good, like, and realistic thought of a success rate. And thirdly, I'll have to come back on the third, because I'm not really, I don't like traveling very much, like, so I don't really have anywhere that I'd like to go to as such, because in my previous times I've been to quite a few different countries. I've been to Thailand for my honeymoon, I've been to like lots of places in Europe, I've been to like several other places that are quite far out, so that for me, that's enough in terms of traveling. So I think the first two, which is getting published and getting 1,000 followers, I think is realistic.
Which one do you think is going to be the first one to happen?
I would probably say the second one, because the Style Secretary has gone better than what I thought it would ever do. Because when I first started it just for fun. I didn't do this like to think to myself, I'm going to become an influencer, I'm going to do this or do that. I just thought it's fun and it's something that I'm already doing, that I already love. So let's just see how other people respond to it. And the response I've gotten has been fantastic so far.
Amazing. Next question. All right, next question for you is, if you had only 24 hours of life, what would you do?
I probably want to take it slowly, as weird as that sounds, because I know that 24 hours isn't a long time. But I want to do all the things that I like doing. I'd like to sleep in for one thing. I know people probably say, like, I want to wake up as early as possible so I can get the day. And I'd say, no, if it's my last 24 hours, I want to sleep in. That would be my first thing to do. I'd eat all my favorite foods. I would not think about having to put other things in, because you have to during your standard life. And I would see as many people as possible. I wouldn't arrange to see one particular friend, because then I think people would feel a certain way, like, oh, you chose to see them but not me. I would just go around seeing people, and if I saw people, I would see people. And I would probably let everybody know, because I'm a huge drama queen and I do like to kind of have that level of attention all on me. So I would let everybody know that what was happening. So then everyone would clamor for it.
It would be like a big announcement for the city.
Oh, absolutely. That would be it. I'd have a megaphone. I'd wear my most glamorous dress. It would be a full event.
Saying that, you said about food. Do you like cooking?
I've gotten better as I've got older. It's been one of those things that throughout my 20s, I could not cook at all. And since I've got into a relationship, I've had a long-term relationship for the past 6 years, and it's been one of those things that I've not really had an option other than to learn, because it's one of those things you can't just live your life on things that get thrown in the oven or in the microwave, or you're living on takeouts. At some point, I think it's a good idea to learn to do things, and sometimes you'll get joy out of it.
Absolutely. Next one, let's do it. Joshua, before the next question, as you're saying about being a kid and you kind of could understand much about what was to be a boy, dress up as a girl, dress up as a boy. When you look back, did your family support you at the time? Did you have some support to try to find your identity, or how it was as a child?
It's been a bit of a weird journey from that. I think, as I said, I think that ideals and thought processes have changed in the last 30 years since I was growing up. So I think people are much more accepting now, or much more open to the fact that gender is more of a construct rather than something that's solid. So my parents have definitely come forward in terms of accepting and understanding about things. But it's the same with everybody. I think that something that people it's gonna be a slow learning process for a lot of people, especially if they're older and they've had the same thoughts. And I think that we've got social media and the internet to thank in a lot of respects for opening up this chasm of knowledge for people to know about and to find out about.
And as a child, when you start dressing up, with the dresses, there was an inspiration of someone that you're seeing on TV or on your day basis that you thought, okay, I would like to dress like that.
See, I never really did it as a kid. I just saw it. And like, as I say, growing up as a 90s child, I think it was a time of Top of the Pops, CD UK, and the supermodels of the world, like the runway models like Naomi Campbell, Kate Moss, Cindy Crawford, all of these incredibly beautiful and powerful women. And also, like, you watch CD UK, you think of the 90s, you think of Culture Club, you think of Skunk Anansie, and those very androgynous people and beings. And it was, as a kid watching, did not think that could happen or could exist. And so I remember when I started to get older, when I started to want to dress more like that, I went back to those memories, for inspiration. And that's kind of what our secretary, and that's why I do it, because if I can be someone who someone can look at and say, I didn't know you could dress like that, as the person that you are. So that's the whole idea of it. It's a full circle moment for me.
Amazing, beautiful. Next question is, if you could go back in time in one moment or memory in your life, what that would be and why?
Oh, damn. That's a very intense one. I think I would go back to when I was around, just entering my 20s, when I was about 19, entering my 20s. I've had significant mental health problems in my life, and I remember when I was younger not knowing how to handle them and not knowing where to go for help, because back when I was 19, social media wasn't as big as it is now and wasn't as prolific, so there wasn't as much to go off as there is now. I think there's a lot of different resources that young children can go to, especially places like Young Minds, for example, that can go help teenagers and young. But I didn't have that, and I would, if I were to go back, I would go back to that 19-year-old who was not sure where to go and what to do, and I'd say, you are going to go through an absolutely awful time in your life, but you'll get through it, you'll survive it, but you don't deserve it. Because that's the thing that you often tell yourself when you're going through difficult times. You think you deserve it, you think you've brought it on yourself, and you wonder what you've done for that to happen. So I think it's important for young people to understand that you don't deserve what's happening to you, and you deserve the right help and the right treatment, and just keep going. Like, don't stop demanding what's best for you.
Amazing. I love the message. Amazing, amazing. Ready for another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next question is, do you consider yourself to be a spiritual person, and how?
Sometimes, I think. I think it's one of those things where when you have certain moments where you might be overwhelmed, for example, and you're looking for a reason that something is happening, I think that sometimes you can turn to, the spirit world or deities or something that's beyond science. And I think it's quite easy to do that. I am not that person. I consider myself an atheist. I don't believe in God or a higher power. But at the same time, I think sometimes when something momentous happens in your life, or say when you meet someone that you think, how did I meet that person? What paths and what energies in the world caused us to both meet? And you do think to yourself in those moments, you think, there's got to be something that's driving it. But then, most of the time for me, my conscious mind takes over and thinks it's just the way that the world is. Like, coincidences and circumstance are just a huge part of the world that we live in.
Easy. Very good. Yeah, and I think I believe that being spiritual is a personal thing. You know, as you said about meeting people, sometimes people cross your life and you go like, my God, I feel like I've known this person for so long and they leave such a big impact in our lives, or you just feel so connected that you even cannot explain sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with you. And when you say that it's a personal often beliefs to come in. Like there's a lot of people that I know that follow religion or that have a certain belief. And for me, my whole personal mantra is that as long as you're not hurting anybody and as on what to do with their lives or trying to say that the way they live life, I have no problem with those people whatsoever. I know some people who follow religion that are the most wonderful people that you could think of. I think my problem is when people try and really like become a tyrant with their beliefs and try and put it down on someone else when I don't think it's their place to do so.
Absolutely. Good one. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next one, as I can see how much you enjoy living in Manchester, people watch the interview, never been to Manchester before. When they come for the first time, what is a must to see? And also the second part of the question is, what is the challenging part of living there, in your opinion?
If I were to recommend places to visit, the first place I'd recommend would be, and this is sort of it's slightly outside of Manchester, but it's still within it. There's a place called Media City, and that's an amazing place to visit because it's got a theatre called the Lowry, and that's an amazing theatre which holds a lot of local talent and is a great place to stay. And also, Media City is home to BBC productions. You might even see something getting filmed there. You might see some behind the scenes stuff. Fantastic place to have a look at for that. In Manchester itself, the Manchester Art Gallery is an absolutely fantastic place to visit. It's got so many incredible pieces of art, and it's one of the very quiet places in the city that you can visit. So, because Manchester has a lot of great nightlife and a lot of really fantastic bars and restaurants. But if you want to go somewhere quiet and visit somewhere like that, then it's great to go to, let's say, the art gallery or the library. So that's amazing.
Amazing. And there's a negative part of living there, something that could be improved, in your opinion?
A problem with Manchester at the moment is there is a lot of restructuring and a lot of building works and road works. So that's a huge challenge at the moment, getting around, figuring out the best place to get somewhere. Even if you've been living there for most of your life, which I have, now you have to make sure that you check the maps and you have to make sure that you check if something's on. Another big thing is that if there's a football match on, you have to make sure that you know the football match is on, because the city just turns into an absolute war zone. So you have to know if the football matches are on.
Next question for you is, what did you think was the most challenging part of being a kid?
Oh, wow. I think the biggest challenge for me was the lack of autonomy. So I think when you're a kid, even if you think you know better about something, like you have to answer to somebody else at all times. So there's always like, it's not even just your parents, it's like, a guardian, or it's a teacher, or just someone who's looking out for you. And in a lot of ways, it's good that we have safeguarding as children, but I think that often children know better than their parents when it comes to themselves, and when it comes to how they identify and what they want to do. I understand that parents are there to help guide you and to give you a different perspective on things. But yeah, the difficult thing about me especially was I'd want to do certain things, and I was very flamboyant as a child and wanted to do certain things that again, boys shouldn't do. And it was difficult to be told no to things like that, and to have this again, this whole ideal that boys didn't do that and couldn't do that.
I see. Okay, now I can say 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Hey, Joshua from Manchester. Next question for you is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Oh, that's there's been a lot, because my family are very vocal when you do something really well. So I'll go with the recent one. I recently was made redundant from my current job that I'm currently in, so I had to find a job as soon as I could, and after quite a few months of searching, I eventually landed one. And my mum was just very vocal and vociferous about how proud she was of me. And it's always wonderful when you hear that from someone very close to you, especially such a family member as your mom, because it's validation from people, because it really gives me a boost when something like that happens. So it's just always fantastic when you've worked hard for something and you have gotten from a really bad place to a better place, and then you have someone who is so forthright in telling you how much of a good job you've done.
Oh, that's sweet. I see. Very good. 2 questions left for you. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, which question would you like to be asked?
Yeah, the first thing that would come to my head if like someone would say like, oh, what would you want me to ask you if you wanted to ask about something, would be something as simple as like, what's your favorite clothing brand?
And what would be your answer?
My answer would be, it would depend, I suppose. I think if it's for something like on a regular basis, there's a clothing brand called Religion, and they're my favorite clothing brand because their designs are just so unique and so dynamic, but they're not like a ridiculously expensive price. So it's something that's relatively affordable, I'd say, on a kind of higher end affordable, but I just love their designs, and I love how diverse and how different they are compared to a lot of other things on the market. So that's a really big thing for me. Amazing.
Ready for the last one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Before the last question, Joshua, can you see me properly, by the way? Can you see me properly? Yeah.
Yeah, it froze for a minute. That's why I forgot to throw up. But yeah, it's fine now. It's all back to normal.
All right. Before the last question, people watch the interview. Maybe they want to start dressing up like you do. Like maybe they want to be themselves or express themselves the way that you do. But there's something holding them back. You know what I mean? Something that they're not prepared, or something that they're not brave yet, or maybe something's holding them back. What would be your advice for those people?
I think the biggest advice I could give would be to take your time, and don't pressure yourself to do something that you're not ready to do. I'd say if you want to do something like that, I'd say start slowly. So start by doing it in your bedroom, and even start with one item. Like if you want to wear one particular item, like say if you want to wear a hat, start with a hat and just wear that in your bedroom. Maybe like show your friends and see what they think. And then when you start getting comfortable with that, then try something else, put on something else to go with the hat that maybe you want to wear with it. And then just something as simple as like go for a walk around your street. I know this won't apply to everybody because not everybody lives in a safe area. So I think it's one of those things. I think that it lends to privilege. That's a huge thing to that. So I'm very privileged that I live in a nice area, and that I've always lived in a city like Manchester that's always been relatively accepting, and that has meant that I can do those things. So I'd say the biggest thing to say to people as well is make sure that you stay safe. Don't do something that's going to put you in danger. And if you do feel like you're in danger, then you are still worthy of love and attention and adoration. You don't have to do anything that makes you feel like you're going to be in danger or uncomfortable. It's inside of you, and that's the important thing. I know that's a huge cliche, and I know that some people will be watching this and going, oh yeah, okay, but it is true. Even when I didn't dress like this, I still knew that I was worthy of everything that I wanted, and it's the same for everybody.
Beautiful. Okay, last question for you is tough question. If someone gave you an envelope, yeah, with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
Oh, I've discussed this many times with friends and family, because it's one of those philosophical questions that you throw out, isn't it? Oh, I don't think I'd be able to resist. I think I'd have to open it. I think I'd have to know. Just because otherwise I'd be thinking to myself, like, what am I going to do? Like, because if I know, it means that I think, okay, I've got this much time left to do all the things that I want to do in my life. And I don't know, it's one of those things that I remember discussing this with a close friend of mine, and they said they wouldn't. And they said the reason for it, because they would try and change it. They'd try and prevent it. Like, if they would know the day, and then they try and like be careful and not do anything, or and sometimes one of those things that you can't change it. Once it's there, it's there.
Absolutely amazing. I love it. Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with family.
Love.
Money.
Capitalism.
How about love? One word.
What was that?
Love.
Oh, love. Moschino.
Interesting. Life.
Life. Laugh.
Sex.
Hot.
Politics.
Corrupt.
Religion.
Outdated.
Fear.
Love.
Friendship.
Cyclone.
I like this word, cyclone. Desire.
Fire.
Regrets.
Indifferent.
Success.
Unique.
Wish.
Stars.
Happiness.
Searching.
Good one. One word for Manchester.
Dynamic.
One word for England.
Troubled.
Right. And the last one now. Royal family. One word.
Abolish.
Ooh.
Controversial, I know.
Let's pretend now that I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me the most beautiful thing about Joshua, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What your best friend would say.
I like to hope that the most beautiful thing about me would be my kindness and my appreciation for others and their differences, and the way that I adapt to meet people's needs depending on what they're doing and what it is that they want out of life. So I think that would be what I hope my friends would say, because I try and put that forward to everybody, particularly the people in my life that I love. I'd say the thing that I would need to improve on, I think my best friend would absolutely say that I need to keep my temper in check and my mouth shut. Because there are times where if something really bothers me, or if something I see affecting my other friends, or if something is happening that is like within the world that I don't agree with, my reaction is to scream and shout and, you know, throw my hands up, and rather than sometimes stop and think, how is the best way to go forward with this to make it better for everybody? I think it's very much an explosive reaction sometimes, I suppose you could say.
Interesting. Love it. Right, so let's play now Joshua and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Hey, you can ask me a question now.
I was thinking about what question to ask you. And Sibylla, you know when you think you have your best ideas in the shower? Like, that's where it came. I was thinking, that's what I want to ask. Like, that's the one that I want to do. So it's based off, again, style, fashion. So I wanted to kind of put it forward to you. So what's your personal style, and what does your style mean to you?
I love the question, Joshua. I love the question. Right, the personal style is very interesting. That you said when I said about happiness, you said about you're looking for it or chasing. Yeah, I would say the same. I think my style, when I just love to wear clothes where I feel very comfortable, where I feel like, first of all, not to let's say to please other people, for the people to like, you know what I mean? I love to dress up, to, you know, it's funny because when I go out, I open my wardrobe, you know what I mean, and I start looking my shirt or t-shirt or whatever, and I just choose for the moment. I never plan myself to organize myself to dress up when I go out or anything. I like to be in the moment. I like to see how I'm gonna feel at the moment. So I would say, I know it's very boring maybe for you when you listen to but yeah, for me, my style is the one that I feel comfortable. I love wear jeans, shorts, you know, but actually I love wearing those boots, you know what I mean? My friends, they hate it because summertime, I'm wearing boots with shorts. I love wearing boots with shorts and socks. I love it. I was in Gay Pride in Amsterdam last weekend, and I went out with my friends. All of them, they were wearing like trainers, you know, shorts and everything. And I put my shorts, I put the t-shirt, and I put a boots. My friends, they were like, "My God, where do you think we are going?" I said, "I'm going to the Pride. I'm just going to express myself the way I am." And they were like, "Oh my goodness, we just put a trainer." I said, No, I like my boots. I like it. It gives me confidence. I feel confident when I'm wearing those. So yeah, I think I'm very, if I'm wearing like something that's very comfortable for me, t-shirt, you know what I mean? But I tend to go for boots all the time. Winter time is the best time because I wear my boots all the time and nobody can say anything. And the other part of the question, what means to me? Yeah.
Yes.
I think whatever you are dressing, whatever you put it on, I think the first thing you need to please is yourself. I think you need to be comfortable. You need to think that, you know what I mean? Even if you're going to be judged, but again, it's you. It's how you feel. So for me, what it means to me is about being myself. As is a good example as last weekend, because I could put trainers, I could put something to fit my friends or other people around, but I wouldn't be myself. And actually, when I was my trainers, and I remember we met some people, and they were like, "My God, I like the way you're dressing." And I was like, "Can you see that?" I said to my friend, "Can you see that?" You know what I mean? So there's always someone out there that's going to like or going to appreciate how you're dressing, because when you dress, as I can see, when you dress yourself the way you are, the way you express yourself, trust me, people, they're going to spot it and they're going to appreciate that. So that for me is my style, is when I dress something that I'm going to feel comfortable with myself and I'm going to feel myself as well. So yeah, that's my answer to you.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Joshua, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
It was really good. Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate you reaching out, and it's been amazing to be part of something like this, and I love watching the videos, and I'll carry on watching them.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, thanks so much for being yourself, for express this way. I was expecting you to come the way you are, and you look glamorous, and I love that. I like, but I like when people come to the show, you know what I mean, being themselves, express themselves. I think that's what it's. I'm sure people watching the interview, they will appreciate that as well, because you're just encouraging people to be themselves. I think that's amazing. But before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that inspires you.
There's a lot. I think positive messages can sometimes come across as quite saccharine and quite insincere. But generally, what I'd like to put forward to people is, going off that actually, is that you don't have to be positive all the time. That it's not realistic to be positive all the time. You're allowed to feel sad, you're allowed to feel discontent or disimpassioned, because there's a lot of things going on, especially in the UK government at the moment, that I know a lot of my friends and myself are feeling very angry and upset about. But I think the important thing out of all of it is to not let the misery crowd out the good times and the joy that we have in our lives, even if it's as simple as putting on something that you love to wear, because that's how I get out of it. Like, if I feel like that nothing is going right for me, I'll put something on and I'll go and take some pictures, and then I'll feel that for a few minutes everything's okay.
Oh, amazing. I love that. It was a pleasure. Thanks so much, and you keep in touch. Thanks for the interview. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay?
Thank you so much. Take care.
Care. Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.